We are going. Come on, everyone, kick it in. I think we're good to go. So I'm going to try this. So I need comments in the chat and let me know that you can hear me and see me and all that. Hey, Joel. Welcome. Thursday night. We're almost there. Sidekick. It's me, the boy wonder, Robin, aka Joe. I was, hey, Lulu, good hearing from you. Glad to have you. All right, great. It sounds like everything's working. So we're in thing. How about the sign, guys? Just came in the mail today. Another thing that Tom is not paying for. But now I'm legit. And I'm thinking someone suggested I start a Where's Waldo contest. Hey, Bruce, and just start hiding Waldo in the wall somewhere. But see what happens. I don't even know where you get a Where's Waldo thing. Welcome, everyone, to Sober Talk. You are here because you want to get sober, you need to get sober, or perhaps you're just sober curious, whatever the reason. Glad you're here. How do you know if you have a drug or alcohol problem? Simple. If you're in my mirror, if it causes problems. I've quit, restarted, quit, started again, failed, whatever. But I've got coming up on a year, and hopefully with the support of this group and this all of you, I'll make this the last time that I'm going through that. I'm a little tired of going through day ones. Don't want to do that anymore. So anyways, Jeff Graham coming to you live from the cold room. Our little disclaimer I'm working on, not to bore you, but this is a sobriety support group. We are here to help everyone and myself stay sober. If you're thinking about quitting and you've been drinking, we strongly suggest you consult a physician, someone in the medical community, because the DTs, withdrawals, can be a very, very life-threatening, life-ending situation if done improperly. So there's a lot of great facilities out there that will make that transition easier. So don't do that alone. Hopefully we'll have that all up in the yes, it is. James is our resident professional on that stuff, but we got some good links that Carrie's going to put up there. So if anyone's looking for emergency help, need to talk to someone right away, the sources should be in that resource page. So we'll have up in there. So back to why you're here. I don't have the answers, but we do as a group, and together we can find them. So again, glad you're here. I talked to someone today, got a couple of new people on, some existing as well. We did start the Cincy Sober line, Cincy Sober Cell. So I'm going to be taking, it's a text line like Tom's, getting texts. I'd love to line people up for the show as much as possible. If you want to text in and give me your name and number, if I don't get you today, I'd like to talk with you and get you on the show. We want to get as many new people on this as possible. The Cincy Sober Cell, which is a text again, is 513-313-6676. It flows beautifully. 513-313-6676. Send me a text and we'll chat here sooner or later. Anyways, I had talked with someone earlier who was on, I think in his first week, and the struggles. And we started something this week. A lot of you sent in, and I got a good list going on our Sobriety Survival Kit. Some great ideas, some great stuff that I want to keep going and growing that, of things that we can do to get through the tough times, especially in that first week or two. But a lot of those tools apply to me on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. I was talking, I have golf clubs in my truck. I've got a collapsible fishing rod. I'm not a very good fisherman. I sure stink at golf, but if I can get out of a tense situation, but if I'm having a bad day, to go and swing and miss, or at least maybe touch a few golf balls, that is enough to maybe get out of my head a little bit and relieve some of the pressure that is possibly going to take me down a road I don't want to go. So we're looking for solutions that you carry with you. Some of them are physical, some are mental, some are audio, some are books. It just depends on what works for you. But we want as much as we can in our sobriety survival guide. I do want to open up. I'm going to start with one of our regulars that wanted to get on, share some of his ideas. We were talking about ideas that how we can. This is going to make me put glasses on. I went and saw the doctor today for my cataracts, and I've got an appointment in 2 weeks. But I'm going to look like a. Hold on here. Probably hit something to blank everyone out. I'm going to look like a dork for a couple more weeks, but we're getting there. Sorry about that. My wife just shut off the video feed, and my kids just changed the channel. So, Brian, you there?
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, buddy. Brian, good to have you on. I know you've been on before, but it's good to have you. So where are you right now? I know you were on with Tom, but where are you on your sobriety timeline? You got some time on your belt, don't you?
Yes, I'm at 8 months and 22 days.
That's fantastic. I come up. I got to get through Super Bowl weekend, not this weekend, but next, and that'll be a year for me. So I'm feeling good, but at the same time, there's a part of me that wants to just lock myself to the bed frame over the weekend, because I think I'm going to be good, but I'm not going to take any chances, and I'm going to be talking to a lot of people, including making my claims known on this show for accountability, because I'm not going to go through that again. I let a lot of people down, primarily myself, but hurt some feelings, and I don't want to have to go through that again. So, Brian, back to what I wanted to talk to you about for the new person. And like I said, I was talking to someone that's very early in sobriety, and I think there's a lot of white knuckling. And we talk about all the tools that we can do about focusing on, resentments. You hear those terms in AA and some of those things, which is obviously my background. But what's your advice? What gets you through that first week, or do you remember? Do you still face those things?
I tell you, the day that I left rehab, I took and called a sponsor. Went to a meeting the very first day because I knew that I had to do a meeting, had to start doing it, because last time I didn't do the things that I learned when I was in rehab. I didn't work the program, didn't do anything. So I knew that I had to take and get some kind of support groups going. So AA used Facebook, got on Facebook and just looked up AA support groups. And there's a lot of great groups out there, and I'm like you, Jeff. I'm an AA guy, but I mean, there's so many other groups out there, because you hear a lot of people say AA didn't work for me. Well, don't give up on your sobriety just because AA don't work. There's Celebrate Recovery. There's Favor. There's even Al-Anon.
Well, a lot of the steps, or not steps, but techniques even cross over. I mean, it doesn't. AA is big on talking to people, just like you and I are doing right now. That's not an AA. They don't have the sole rights to that idea or that step or suggestion. There's a lot of stuff that it goes across the whole board. It's just good sobriety support, which is what we're all about here. That's not just an AA thing. That's any of it. I think that's probably the number one key for me.
And, you're absolutely right, because, I mean, just like this group here, just like you said, we're not experts, but, you put us all together, we can figure it out. Someone's struggling. What I love about this show is, we start out, we see each other, everybody's saying, hey, and then when it gets into the show, you see the comments, the advice that's coming, and it's just people wanting to help other people. And I said it the other night. I love to see someone that's new in recovery get on here and talk about white knuckling and struggling, and just the love just pours out. I heard a great.
There's none of us on here have not gone through a day one. I mean, it's a dumb cliche, but it's true. Every one of us knows that crap, here we go. I got to get through day one. And then it's like, it's day two. Why is this no easier than day one and and you don't realize until you're a little further along that, hey, it's gotten a lot easier. But there's none of us that haven't gone through that day one of just sitting at home going, oh man, how am I going to do this?
Right. And that's like picking up my white chip. White chip, I really didn't mean a whole lot to me because I thought I was going to take and fail again. And that's what we do is, just like you, Super Bowl Sunday's coming up. Am I going to make it? So we always have that doubt in our mind. So, day 30 rolls around, you pick up your 30-day chip and you start feeling a little bit better about it. It gets easier. We all struggle. I think we'll struggle the rest of our lives. And that's why we continue to do these support groups, meetings.
Yep. I was in one earlier today and I get so much stuff, and I took notes today. I hear something new. It may not be new words, but it's just presented a different way that just kind of clicks with me. And I always I always come out of those meetings or those talks or this show stronger than when I came in. I mean, some days I'm bulletproof and others days I'm just better. But I always come out stronger than I did going in.
Last night I done a Zoom. I had worked all day, long hours, and it's a Zoom that I host. And honestly, I didn't want to do it. I did not. I was tired. I was cranky. I didn't want to do the meeting, but I went ahead and done it. And, I got something out of it. And I felt so much better after the meeting. And I always feel great after a meeting, even when we have to force ourselves to go.
Yep. Yeah, it's true. It's a discipline, but I've said it before. I do a morning 7 a.m. with a local group here in Cincinnati, and yeah, the alarm goes off and the pillow is finally gotten warm and comfortable, and I could easily roll back, but I know that when I do that meeting, it sets my my mood, it sets my momentum for the day. It just gets things pointed in the right direction. And the other thing, I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but it's something that it shoves me in the right track that I want to go for the day. And it gives me a better shot of having a positive day and not ending up where in my garage, huddled around a space heater, watching a little black and white TV, drinking beer all night. So, yeah.
Right. And I see one, Lynn on here, on day 5, still trying to figure it out. That's awesome, Lynn. We're all still trying to figure it out, and that's why we're here. That's why I get on Sober Talk every night. And, thanks, Jeff, for doing these shows when Tom's off.
Vacationing, by the way, Hilton Head.
Vacationing.
Yeah, he's warm right now.
Yeah. But I had heard a great analogy one time, and I'd like to share it, and then I'll let you move on to other guests if you need to. Is if you was forced to tread water indefinitely in the middle of the ocean, but you was offered certain life rafts that you can lean on when you get tired, would you take them? Yes. And that's the way I look at these groups is, we've got AA there. There's a raft, Al-Anon, Celebrate Recovery, even Sober Talk, all these rafts that you can lean on when you're tired. Yep. And that's what we're here for. Just, if you're having trouble, lean on someone else, pick up the phone, because when you're in early recovery, the phone feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to pick it up and call nobody.
But Brian, let me ask you this. If the phone rang right now and it was someone that was struggling, would you be offended, hurt, ticked, inconvenienced, bummed out that they called you?
Not at all, because this is the way I feel is if someone reaches out to me, it's our job to give back, because we were where they were at. And plus, they don't realize how much they're helping us.
Exactly.
And I know you get that feeling too. And I know Tom gets it. Me and Tom talked about it, but how great it helps us.
Tom and I talked about it. Okay. You Kentucky. No, I'm just kidding with you. I got you.
I'm further south. Okay? But it helps us a whole lot.
Yep.
You know, just someone reaching out to us.
Yeah, there's I'll talk with people that are new and they thank me and I say, no, you have no idea. You don't understand. I am better, stronger, better mood, whatever. It really does help me. I think a night sitting around just bottling it inside of me, holding it in, that's, yeah, I get a ton. I get more out of it, I think, than some of the others that are calling me for help.
Yes, because I mean, you know how it is. If we just sit around and get in our own heads, we can bum our own selves out just sitting around. But you know, if somebody calls us with a problem, that's helping us forget about what we was sitting there thinking about.
I spent a lifetime listening to Jeff Graham tell me what to do, and it's got me now on a Thursday night sitting here by myself in a little dungeon in my basement, an old coal room, on a show about sobriety, trying to get sober. So right. Listening to Jeff has really worked well. You know, that's been a great.
Me listening to my own thinking got me, you know, here on Sober Talk, AA, rehab. So I try not to listen to that guy anymore.
Oh, in the ideas, I got a guy that's going to be on a little bit, a younger guy, and he said something that I said, you got to come on. I said, if you don't come on, I'm going to take credit for what you said. So I'm giving him a chance. Normally I would just plagiarize and take off, but he said something that just a simple thing. And it really hit home for me. And I said, would you come on and just reshare that? Cause it was something I needed to hear. And, yeah, I get so much out of it. Well, look, Brian, thanks so much for coming on. You're one of the regulars, and thanks for all you do, and thanks for being a part of this thing. So will you check back and stay in the loop?
Yes, sir. I definitely will. It's great being on here. Great seeing all the regulars on here. Love you guys.
Yeah, it's a good group. All right, buddy. Hey, Brian, thanks so much. You have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, so I'm going to get we do have our sponsor. I think hopefully we're getting Carrie can get the link up, but tonight's show's brought to you Kentucky's Best Hemp for your CBD products. They've been very, very good to us, keeping us on the air and helping out. If Tom would just pass some of that on to others, that'd be nice. But no, they've been really good keeping everything rolling. They're a huge support for us, so please support them for your next time you're looking to buy some CBD products. When ordering, they are running the promo code TOM30. If you put that in and checkout, you'll save up to, I think it's 30% on your purchase. And we are putting something in, but they are sponsoring I guess it's a contest or whatever. Carrie can put the links out where we're going to be giving away some of their products too. So I'll let Tom talk about that some more tomorrow. I do want to bring on our next guest. Okay, hopefully that's doing that. And I heard Grace. Are you there? Oh, hold on. Why are you not pulling up here? Oh, there you are. Can you hear me, Grace?
Yes.
Welcome to Sober Talk. God, he just got blinded by your nail polish there. Mandarin yellow, is that what that's called?
Yeah, a little bit of sunshine in my gray days here in Cincinnati. Very cold, icy outside.
Yeah, I went down to do the show with Tom last night in Louisville, and the drive back was slightly longer than it normally takes. It was I saw tail lights, then I saw the ditch, then I saw tail lights. We were all over the place, so it was a lot longer drive. But I'll take a little bit of snow just over some of the brown and gray of Cincinnati. It's getting old, and I will get you the that Cincinnati Bearcat sweatshirt in the mail to you, so you can have the proper attire next time you come on to the show. So Grace, tell I had heard your lead a while back, but I don't remember anything. So just I think you're newer. I can't remember exactly. What's your story?
So I just celebrated 11 months of continued clean and sober time on Monday. So I'm coming up on my year next month. I am from Columbus, Ohio. I am an Ohio State graduate with a political science degree, a BA. Um, I moved to Cincinnati of April of last year, April 2020. I got sober last February, so I just needed a change of scenery.
You don't
And
have to give us your age, but you look like you're just fresh out of school.
I'm 22. Yeah, I just graduated.
Oh, wow. You're real. Definitely. Okay. That's great. So when did you start drinking and when did they start going south? I mean, what got you to the point almost a year ago, which is fantastic, that what happened? How did it progress?
So I started drinking. Well, I really started smoking cannabis when I was 16. And then I started drinking around 18. I got a fake ID. And that really took me places. And April of 2019, I got my first DUI. August of 2019, I got my second DUI. And January of last year, 2020, I got my third DUI. And so I went to court and they said I could either get sober in jail or I could get sober at a treatment center. So I did an outpatient treatment, was sober for a couple weeks and relapsed on February 24th of last year. And so that's why the 25th is mine.
So let me ask you this. Was it, obviously people do rehab for two reasons, because they want to, or because someone else wants them to. You did it because of, to make a judge happy versus making Grace happy, correct?
Yes. I knew I had a drug problem. I did not know I was an alcoholic. But I had a friend at my outpatient treatment that started taking me to AA meetings, and I really liked it. They all said how good he looked, because he had just gotten out of treatment. And he had so many friends, and I was just like, I want to be like that. All I had were bar rat friends and people I,
Right.
with. And so I went to AA for a couple weeks and relapsed. And then I came just for one night, and I came back in the rooms, and it just really stuck.
What was the reason for the relapse? Do you have, I think I just lost you. Okay. You just came back. What was the reason for the relapse? Do you looking back, because I know mine was coming up on a year, last Super Bowl. I know now, looking back, I relapsed. Don't give me the finger. Okay. You just flipped me off and that hurt my finger. Okay. Or my feelings. I'm a sensitive guy and you just gave me the finger I'm pouring my guts out to you and you're flipping me off on national, globally watched syndication. So what I was saying was, I looking back, my relapse probably started 2 weeks before the beer even touched my lips. When you look back, obviously we have hindsight 2020. What did you, I guess, judge yourself? What did you see looking back at why you did relapse?
So number one, I was still smoking cannabis and using THC products. So I was sober from alcohol and my drugs of choice. But I was still doing the marijuana maintenance plan, or people call it Cali sober. So I was still doing that, and I I was missing my bar friends, and I thought that's all I had left, and I didn't think AA could work, and so it definitely was coming on. It definitely was not just out of the blue.
Did you have friends outside of the bar? Because besides my family and that extended family, my close friends, for the most part, were heavy drinking, because I think that was a situations where I met friends. I found my friends in those locations. It wasn't that I was at a church festival and convinced, found some people there that it just happened that all three of us were major drinkers. Also, it was, I was in the scenarios or the positions to find those people that were, so it's you're cutting off a community, your extended family when you make this decision sometimes, which is tough. It can be a lonely choice.
Right. They say that you have to change one thing and that's everything. people, places, and things. And that's what I had to do. That's mainly the reason I moved to Cincinnati, was the whole place. Going to school at OSU's campus, and living in northern Columbus. I just was all over the place with my using and drinking. And they say that, geographical change isn't going to change anything, but I had wanted to change my geographic location for a long time. I have family that lives in northern Kentucky, Fairfield, so Cincinnati just seemed like a good choice. And I travel to Nashville very frequently for AA as well. I have a really great support system down there too.
That's fantastic. So you did the first rehab, you had the relapse. How long did you drink after? Was it just a one? Because mine was just a weekend. It was a big weekend, but it was just a weekend stint, and then I hit the even lower bottom that I needed to get the kick in the pants. Was yours just a short relapse, or did you go for a while back out?
It was just one night. I drank and used both. And then on the 25th, I decided, I can't even smoke cannabis. I can't use anything because I had tried. I didn't want to give up everything. But I decided, that it was just, I couldn't do anything. I had to have complete abstinence from drugs and alcohol. I do, like, when I give my lead, I do say that I still use nicotine and caffeine. Those are drugs. I still do use those.
People that drink coffee, that's weak,
It's a mind altering substance. You're not.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I'm hoping I don't wrap myself around a telephone pole because I drink too much coffee and Diet Pepsi. I'm going to take my chances on that. At least a little bit better odds. So the decision to do that without having a big hitting bottom is rare, I guess. And maybe, and I don't need to know personal details, but that's a lot of people. It takes, it takes the DUI, it takes the wreck, it takes the family saying, here's your bag. And don't worry about your keys because they don't work anymore, to get back in before people do that. But it sounds like you just said, I'm going down this road again and I need to do that. That's pretty impressive if that was the case.
Yeah, I mean, it was, the 3 DUIs within 8 or 9 months. I was, an honors student in high school, and my college, I was slowly slipping on that. And I know it was due to my drug and alcohol use and prioritizing using over studying. And it was just a combination of a lot of things. And my mom finally said, you are a drug addict. You can't stop when you want to stop. And it was a lot of things.
Do you have any siblings or that also have alcohol issues or drug issues?
Yeah, I have. My mom's brother is 30 years sober and clean. My dad is 15 years sober and clean. And I have a younger brother. He's 2 years younger. He is a self-admitted alcoholic, but he's only 20. And it took me a lot to even want to consider stopping drinking.
Did he approach you, or did you approach him about it, or how'd that work?
Yeah. So when we were drinking and using together, he had said to me, I know I'm an alcoholic and that you're a drug addict. And we had a whole conversation about it, but that was kind of, forgotten after the conversation.
Right.
But he went to my mom and said, I am an alcoholic. I drink at work. I have to drink to function. And, the first step is just admitting that you have a problem, saying it out loud to another person that you trust. But
the progression of this disease, or whatever you want to call it, amazes me, because I never saw it. And it was till I finally looked in the mirror or realized, my God, what are you doing? And it was, I didn't even see, I did not see the little clink, clink, clink of the progression, just until it's small steps that you don't notice until suddenly I'm standing there going, how the hell did I get here? It's not just that I was fine, and then a day later I had a big bender and I woke up, went, oh my God, after this weekend, I'm an alcoholic. No, it's a slow, and who knows, maybe if I had seen it coming, I would have tried something, but I didn't even notice until it was to the point where, nope, past that point, I missed the exit ramp on this trade, this travel. We're done.
Yeah. So. I mean, I've really done everything alcoholically. Like when I was 16, I started working at a salon, and by the time I was 18, I was a manager. I was a total workaholic. That job was my life, even when I was in high school. And when I smoked cannabis only, I did that alcoholically. I would blow off just about anything to go smoke with, and really just takes that bottom. Everyone has a different bottom. Some people think, you have to have at least one DUI to be an alcoholic. Yeah. That is not the case.
No, I've never had cuffs on, and thank God. I think I'd been in the back seat crying like a 2-year-old, that got in trouble. I would not be a model macho man in that situation, I guarantee. So, but I'm fortunate that I avoided that. And sadly for so many, it comes to that. It takes that, this is kind of one of the things I was going to talk with Sean in a bit, but there was I think I knew in my 20s, I played college football, and on the team, I was one of a couple of Otises, and you're too young to know, but from the Andy Griffith series, Andy Griffith show, the old black and white, Otis Campbell was the town drunk. So Otis is a name that just kind of going, with people that are the drunk is the Otis. And I was Otis Graham, and there was a couple of Otises on the team, and the guys pretty much guessed it right. And I can be out somewhere and I'll hear Otis, someone, and I know it's a college buddy, but I think I knew even then in my 20s that I had a problem, or I had the makings of a problem. It wasn't a problem, but I had the problem. I knew forever that that I ought to, that I probably need to quit, but I didn't hit the I have to until much later. And there's no way in hell I was going to quit until the have to's hit, and that's, we had some people on past shows that are debating about it. And it's a hard question to ask, but I wonder if people that are still enjoying drinking, that are still having a good time with it, that know they probably need to quit, but are enjoying it if they're ready. And that's unfortunate, because I think some are going to, after that real bad incident happens, say, I wish I had listened to that voice instead of, but the numbers don't support that, sadly. So so you got coming up on a year, which is fantastic. What is life like now? But more importantly, what do you suggest? And again, this goes back to kind of the last week or so, talking with some people that are brand new, that are white knuckling it. And people talk about, I want to, I'm working on a year, I'm working on this and that. And I hear people going, hey, up yours, I'm trying to get through tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. It's the weekend. And I'm at day 3. How the hell am I going to get through tomorrow night on a Friday night? What are you supposed to do if you're not drinking? And what's your advice there?
So personally, I travel. So I go to and from Columbus to see my mom. I go to and from Nashville to see my family there, my AA family. But not everyone, has people to see in those places. I don't know. I would say pick up a hobby. I definitely understand that void of, it's Friday night. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to go out drinking. People are asking me to go out drinking. I would not recommend to someone that's new to go to the bar and try to stay sober.
Yeah.
Because that's the old saying, if you go to the barber shop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. And I know plenty of people, I'm just going to go play darts. I'm just going to play pool. I'm the DD. And then they get drunk and they're all taking an Uber home.
See, that requires that's rolling the dice on my strength. And I don't trust my strength. Not initially. I'm to the point now where I can, but I still take, I take the precautions. I prepare. I think about it. I make sure there's accountability. I always take insurance policies out, even though I don't think I need them. I wore my seatbelt today when I was driving to get my eyes checked, which I won't be wearing these for long. My I'll put them on because my daughter, this just makes her so proud of me. But no, I wore the seatbelt though, because I did not plan on getting in a wreck. I didn't think I was going to get in a wreck. I didn't fear that someone was going to plow into me, but I put on the seatbelt anyways, just in case, because if it does happen, I want to be ready. It's insurance. It's, I'm not anticipating drinking tomorrow night, but I'm on this show tonight talking with you because that's going to give me some armor or some insurance or some strength so that I'm going to be able to tomorrow night, if something bad happens or a situation occurs, I don't have to rely on just white knuckling it, tough it out strength, which is fails for me.
Yeah, and I would say get some friends who, I mean, there are great programs. There's any program for any drug or alcohol anonymous you could want. There's CA, CMA, NA for all drugs, and then there's AA. I found my experience, strength, and hope through AA mostly. I do attend multiple anonymous programs, but find a Friday night meeting in your area.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that some of them are Zoom, but you'll find people that are like, let's go out and get Mexican food. And you all are not drinking. And then you don't think, oh, well, Sarah's getting a drink and I really want to drink. If all of you are not drinking, it's very, very easy.
That's huge. Great. That's massive. And I know, and Carrie Mabe, you can, I know there's some sites, if other people have and want to put them in the chat, there's like the national, and again, this isn't an AA group. I come from an AA, obviously you do as well, but I'm just saying there are support groups, alcoholic sobriety support groups. I bet if you Google, you can find plenty of them in your town or area or whatever. I think that's a fantastic area because the safety in a crowd is huge. I love that. That's versus, I'm going to sit at home by myself because I don't want to go out because I'm afraid I'm going to drink. Well, that's where I drank, was me at home alone. So for me not to do that's possibly, I'm going the complete wrong direction because I'm hiding from everyone. And then, wow, this is a good time now I'm at home. I can do it. So it's, yeah, that accountability is a great point.
I was gonna say, especially, yeah, the accountability. So, you're around people who aren't drinking or know that you don't drink. And being alone at home, feeling bad about yourself that you can't drink, that's not going to help anything. And it's going to probably make you want to drink.
Fantastic.
Finding there's plenty of people who have never done AA and they have years of sobriety. There's a lot of people right now doing dry January, that may find that they like, not drinking alcohol. I know a lot of my friends have been doing dry January that still drink.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't drank the whole month of January. They say, oh, I have so much more energy, or, I'm kind of finding that I really do need to drink on the weekends. And they're, kind of finding a little journey in sobriety through just the month of January.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Well, look, Grace, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much. You got to come back because you got unbelievable advice and need to pick your brain some more. So hope you'll come back and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
And now I'm going to try and figure out how to, I don't even know. See, this is now, Grace, you can just sit and hog the screen because I'm not even seeing how to get you off of here now. So just sit here and laugh at me. Oh, there it is. Grace, thanks again. You have a great evening. We'll talk to you soon. All right. See, this is why we do this. This is where we're as a group, this is where solutions come from. There's not a single thing that we're facing right now that other people in this community haven't faced and don't face on a regular basis. So this is where we got to go to the answers, or come to find the answers. And the biggest thing, and whether it's the chat, the Sober Talk Facebook page, I guarantee if anyone's got a question on how to do anything, if you throw it out there, people are going to jump on it with answers. There's a lot of great ideas. So anyways, I got a guy here that I just met, and I liked what he said, and I was going to take his hold on, buddy. I don't know why I'm not. Are you there, Sean?
Yeah. Can you not see me?
No, I can see in the little screen, so I don't know if I'm okay. I think hopefully that's good. If Carrie or someone, if we're not seeing him, will you let me know? I think we're good. But anyways, thanks for coming on. You are where? You're like way out the West Coast?
I'm in Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. You're East Coast down. Okay, gotcha. So Sean, I heard just a little brief thing, but start from scratch. What's your story? How'd you get here and how long and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I'm 31 years old. I originally got sober almost a year ago. Well, that's not true. I guess I had a plethora of day ones, but not seriously, made an attempt to get sober until about a year ago. Had about 10 and a half, 11 months of sobriety, and then had a relapse on Christmas. So I'm back at day 34. And I came to you via TLC, which is the luckiest club. My girlfriend let me know about it. I signed up like right away after I relapsed on Christmas, and back on day 34, and the rest is history.
That's so you're how many times? I know you had the one. How many attempts have you had at this?
I think my first attempt to quit drinking, I was 23, and I want to say it lasted maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And then I didn't really try again until I was about 27. And then, I'd get like a couple days or a week. And then 2018 and 2019, I probably had 3 dozen day ones. So there's been a lot of times.
Yeah, the day one, and that's what I liked what you said earlier, and I wanted to pick your brain about the for the new person. It's kind of been the theme of the week. This is Sean, with COVID, the elections, the weather, it's been the perfect storm. Liquor sales. This is forget buying or selling with GameStop or whatever that hedge thing in the news. You want to make money, invest in liquor sales right now because they're going through the roof. The economy is booming in their world. So, it's a tough time, but there's a lot of people that are really struggling right now, and the white knuckling, and you hear so many things that get advanced in recovery, because for me it's 2 parts. It's the long term, which is dealing with the issues, why I drank, why am I unhappy, what are the reasons that I'm self-medicating and drowning my fears, whatever, my childhood, whatever issues that are causing me to drink. And someone, like I had said earlier with Grace, is, hey, I'm just trying not to drink tomorrow night, and I'm just trying to make it through one Friday. I'm not worried about solving my problems and, the core of it. How do I survive a Friday night? So what's your advice for someone like that? I mean,
Yeah. So I think, when it finally clicked for me, there was certainly, I was at a point of desperation. I knew that I wanted to quit. And there were 2 big changes for me. I realized, first of all, that, I couldn't keep doing this. As Einstein says, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
Right.
I knew that I had to try something new. So there's a few things. I realized that the overall goal wasn't just sobriety. I wanted to build a life that I didn't feel the need to escape from. Kind of changing that process made me realize too, like, I don't have to quit drinking alcohol. I get to quit drinking alcohol. Nothing.
And that was something, this is what Sean said earlier when I said, okay, you got to come on, because I had mentioned that with Grace, and that was something that I think I focus on the negative, because I talked about my recovery was, I need to drink. I should stop. I need to stop. I ought to stop. But it got to the point I have to stop. Well, and I my story, which I pass on to people, is you got to get to that point of where I have to. Well, that's a negative sounding thing. And you said something about, you said, I get to stop. I get to be sober. Right. And that was on, it kind of hit me like, gee, Jeff, why don't you look at the glass being half full instead of half empty? Because that opens possibilities, and looking at, I think the way I was saying that, it paints sobriety as, oh my God, I have to be sober. I've got to be, which is a negative. It just sounds like, oh, what a bummer. I'm sorry. You're going to have to live your life sober. That's such a shame. Poor you. And that's not the case. So I love what you said.
And that's kind of where you get into like, the barriers of the mind, where like we have our conscious, what we see every day, what we know is around us, our surroundings. Then we have our subconscious, which, could be like that voice in the back of your head. And then there's the unconscious. So largely due in part to the society that we live in today, like we see alcohol, we don't even notice it. Like it's so deep in our unconscious mind that it's just like, it's a part of life. So like automatically, like, especially, younger people like me, we see like drinking, like this is part of adulthood. This is what people do. And you see it everywhere. But so like when you're trying to quit,
even expected for your age group.
Exactly. It's expected. So when you're trying to quit, you're thinking to yourself, like this is going to suck. Like I have to quit. So then when it finally does click with people, you realize, because everyone's had a few days before, or a couple weeks or a couple months or years or whatever. And you feel good when you're not drinking, but you haven't made that switch in your head yet where you really think to yourself, like, I don't have to do this anymore, and that's like, for me, that was the light bulb moment. And I think that can be the light bulb moment for a lot of people, and especially trying to get over, those first 4 or 5 days. It's easy to relapse because if you're paying such close attention to like how many days you have or whatever, it's easy to think to yourself like, oh, well, day one was only like 3 days ago. I'm only on day 4. So like, I can do another day 1. Well, I don't think that that's a good way to go about doing it.
But that's how my head talks to me, Sean. My head is saying, look, what does it matter? You're gonna start tomorrow. I mean, who wants to? It's Thursday right now. Who wants to start sobriety on a Friday? I'm going to start on Monday.
You see that a lot. Like you and Grace were saying, and people that are like white knuckling it. It doesn't have to be a hard thing. And we hear people say it all the time, that the opposite of addiction is connection. And that is the truth. And that's how you can stay sober and build those days. Is doing stuff like this, putting yourself out there, because there is a joyful way to do it that isn't just like, sitting in the liquor store parking lot and white knuckling your steering wheel, trying not to go in. It's doing things like this, and it's talking to other people. And, the truth is, like, hearing other people's stories and sitting in AA rooms and listening to this, there's something joyful that comes with sharing pain with other people, and there's a camaraderie to it. And that is how, that's the basis of AA. And that's why it's been successful for almost 100 years.
There was a reading, we were talking in our morning group, and it was just the importance of the not forgetting the stories, the negatives, and that's, I see that for several reasons. One, if I forget the pain of drinking, and I'm not talking hangovers go away. I don't care about that. If giving up alcohol, your whole purpose is because of hangovers, more power to you, but I can get through that, and those go away in an hour or 2 or whatever. And my pain is family, is wife, is kids. Those are the hurts that don't go away. And I don't ever want to forget those. But the other thing is talking, sharing that for someone, when I first went into recovery, if I was in with a group of professionally dressed that, people that had not had a sip in 30 years and were way above, I'm not comfortable telling them all that just last week I was sitting at a friggin', in my truck, passed out somewhere in a parking lot. I don't want to tell them that. That's embarrassing or whatever. But to hear those stories, it's a comfort. It's a level to go, wait a minute, this Sean guy, he's done the same thing. You hear those stories. We were talking, sorry, my daughter, who I'm just good, but a memory came up of, I was reminded of her having to come in and say, Dad, get up and go to bed. You fell asleep in your chair again. Oh, by the way, that 3/4 of that last beer that you had to have is all over your pants right now. So I don't know if you wet yourself or you just spilled beer over yourself, and that's a crappy memory. But to know that someone else has got the same thing is going to open their comfort level of talking about those things. So that communication is key, versus if I went into a recovery and just had someone preaching down to me, Jeff, you are, you, until you're blah, blah, blah. I'm going the other direction. That doesn't work for me. But someone says, man, Jeff, I'm right where you were. I was I might really, I'm not alone. I'm not the only buffoon that's done that.
Right. Well, and the reality of the situation is that sharing is therapy, and there's a reason why we all drink. Whether it's something that we want to like put out of our minds or change the way we act because we're not comfortable in our own skin. There's a reason that we drink, and sharing is therapy. So, having that therapeutic aspect of it is helpful, because it's important to get down to the root of why you drink. Yeah.
And and that though, and I want to get your thoughts on the newcomer, because I needed to address why I drank. And those don't happen on tomorrow night. I'm not going to get to that. That takes some time. And I've realized all the different, self-medicating that I did. I was crippled with anxiety in my younger days. And I completely fueled it. I didn't realize, but dumping alcohol on it. Yeah. There's a lot of things. I mean, I insecurities, we can go down the list. There's a ton of things why I drank. But again, that's a secondary thing. And there's someone that's just right now hoping to get through this weekend, and it's, and those are where that first, Grace had said about avoiding bars or some of the places. Yeah. Those are, people say, well, I can't not do that. I've got to go out to bars. My friends, I'll do that. I don't want to give that up. I want to go to football games. I want to tailgate. Yeah. And I do too. And I'm getting there where I can do that. But that first week as a temporary, I just had to get through a week and get a little bit of momentum. And my first week, I didn't care if it was, I literally wanted to tell my wife and kids, lock me in the closet, put a padlock on it. Don't let me out. I got to get some days under my belt. And then once I'm got a little momentum, a little confidence that I'm not going to die if I go a night without drinking a case of beer. Well, now let's go out together with accountability and start exposing myself back to the places I want to be. Right. But again, and so get back to the theme of the new guy, because you're at, it's still fresh. That's why I love talking to people like you that are, and I'm such a vet at almost a year. I've got this thing totally licked, of course. Yeah. But what's your advice for that person? So one of the hardest things about the early days of sobriety is that, again, there's a reason that we drink, because we're trying to like keep something down or keep thoughts out of our head. When you get sober, you have to address those thoughts. So shout out to my girl, Brene Brown, but she says feelings are for feeling. And sometimes those early days can be brutal because all of those things are coming back to you. But what did she say? What was the line? She says feelings are for feeling. Like you're supposed to feel all of your feelings, whether it's uncomfortable or not. Gotcha. Yeah. Makes sense. And it's tough. And that's again why things like this and things like meetings are important, so that you can speak it out and have that therapy from that. And it is, it can be kind of cathartic, but I really truly do believe that you have to address those things. It doesn't have to be as painful as some people make it, which I think is a mistake that some people can make early on, where they're not sharing. There is help in listening, but it is important to share, or they're not seeing a therapist, or they're not really doing anything. They're just trying to push those feelings out and ignore them. But even if it's something as simple as, writing in a journal or keeping notes, get it on paper if you're not going to get it out verbally. You have to start to address some of those things. And
before you know it, you're going to feel a lot better. I think you and I talked about how before I got sober, I was dealing with anxiety and depression issues. My therapist was like, I think you should quit drinking. So I did. And within, a month or 3 weeks or however long it was, my depression was totally gone and my anxiety was almost non-existent.
Yeah. My anxiety went, it was just, it ticks me off that I fought it and I did everything, every home remedy known to man. And when I finally quit drinking, it just vacated. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen for everyone, but I hear that all the time. The feelings are for feeling. You just hit me again with another one because God, I just buried mine. I drank. I didn't want to face my feelings because my feelings sucked. They were embarrassing. I was feeling ashamed because I was doing, this and that. I didn't like him. And I think I drank, I buried them. And they don't leave me. I can drown them. I can pour beer all over them. But as soon as that beer evaporates, leaves my system, they're right back where they were. And that doesn't alleviate them. And I think what you're saying, the sharing and talking is how you do it.
And I think another important thing to point out is that a lot of times people can't make it, even past the first week because typically they decided to get sober maybe because something happened or they said something and they're dealing with such a large chunk of shame, if you will. And shame can be a silent killer when you're trying to get sober. And it's important to remember that, again, getting those feelings out, but that shame doesn't last forever.
I had a ton of it.
Yeah. So it's important to realize that too, that it's not something that's going to stick around and people are going to.
I think what the shame for me is now the good stuff, the shame is still, the memories that I can't take away or make them vanish, but I can bury them underneath happy memories and new memories, But as I've said this before, I hate reliving or thinking about or recounting the crap, the bad memories, but I pray to God I never forget them.
Yeah. 100%.
Because I'm screwed if I forget them because it is, right now when I say, we boat a lot, Sean, and when I think of boating in the summer, the first thing or drinking while boating in the summer, every memory that just boom popped into my head right now, not one of them was negative. It was a sunny day. It was breeze. It was at the marina. Jimmy Buffett is playing Son of a Sailor. There's great food on a grill. The memory of me vomiting in the parking lot, the memory of me getting a DUI by the boat police, which was a real fear of mine. The memory of my, cleaning the boat the next week and finding all the hidden beer cans that I buried under this cushion and, in where the fire extinguisher would go, all those places. Those things don't come to mind. I got to, and for me, writing those down is a huge one because I don't want to ever forget those memories.
Yep.
But focusing on the good stuff because now, I take our grandbabies out on the boat and I'm happy as could be. That I'm out there having a blast with them, not disappointing my family, and we're having a great time, and music is now it's great again. I think a lot of us go through that. Okay. That one bluesy tune that Led Zeppelin, man, that you gotta be hammered when you listen to that, but boy, that hits you. How can you listen to that song and enjoy it sober?
It's almost like once you're sober for a little while, it's like, there's so much joy in your life and you feel so much better that in and of itself is a high. And you're like, oh, this is what I was chasing by drinking. And then I found it by not drinking.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think I believed that at first. I would have said you're nuts.
Right.
And now I'm happy to say that people are listening to me and saying, Jeff, you're nuts. But I'd rather be on the end where I know the truth.
Right.
And I'm enjoying the good stuff. So, well, look, Sean, we're at the top of the hour. I hope you come back.
Yeah.
Great stuff. And I really, you put up a big positive spin, which I think I'm forgetting, you know, that I'm still painting they're looking at the glass half full sometimes. And this is a gift. You know, you hear people talk about their sobriety date. For me, I'd heard someone else say this. I mean, no, I thought of this myself. It was my idea completely. But it was my freedom date. And when I look at that and I think about it, it helps me to remember my freedom date, which is February 5th of last year. I am free from, and we don't have enough time. I could give you the list, the fear, the regrets, the shame, the embarrassments, the memories I'll never be able to take away, the anxiety about what's going to happen tomorrow, the regret about what happened yesterday. I'm free from all that crap.
Right.
It really is it's a freaking happy ending, you know?
Yep.
And it's a fun journey. I'm loving it.
Oh, it's amazing.
So,
it's great.
Even though I get called Joe by half the callers, then someone last night made fun of my sweatshirt, which was one of my favorites, but I'll never wear it again out in public. Can't remember who said that. And then, yeah, it's hurtful things on this thing. They call me the Robin because Tom Mabe, who's runs this thing, he's bad. I'm just the sidekick that gets none of the,
Yeah.
I'm just there to hold the utility belt for him, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, hey, Sean, thanks so much for being on, and I'll definitely have you back again. So everyone have a great weekend. Please post in the forum, Sober Talk Live on the Facebook page. Hopefully the links will be on there. You can rewatch this feed or any of the old shows on www.sobertalklive.com. If you scroll down, there's two buttons. One is watch on Facebook. Click on that one, and any of the old episodes are going to be listed on that. You can see those. But please go to the group page. And this isn't listening to one person. This isn't. We got it. This is only done as a group, everyone. So have a fantastic weekend, and I'll be back on next Tuesday, and I'll be on tomorrow night watching with Tom. I guess he's going to do remote from Hilton Head, so we'll see what happens. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Sean. Robin, Joe, thank you. Nice sweater. Appreciate that. Bruce, appreciate it. There were some good guests. I love talking to people about this stuff. We talk about journals. They mentioned it, but I'm on my second one. I take notes whenever I hear something good. It's my memory's not good enough to remember that stuff. So and then I use it and tell people that it was my own thought when it's someone else's and claim credit for it. So, but I guess Tom Mabe is a stand-up comedian. I wonder how many of his jokes are original and how many are plagiarized from Don Rickles and some of the Rodney Dangerfield's classics. All right, everyone. Have a great evening. We'll see you. Thanks. Take care.